CR101radio.com, podcasts, and more.
34. Land of Lawlessness. It was brought home to me recently how far gone we are. The Reverend Richard Wurmbrandt, representative of the underground churches in communist territories, spent 14 years in prison before being ransomed and brought to America. Of the underground Christians, he says, they do not look to America to save them. America cannot win war in Little Vietnam, free its own men of the Pueblo, rid its government of communists, or keep order in its streets. How can it save anyone? The only wish of these persecuted Christians is that we stop whining and dining their persecutors. For all who love America and its glorious heritage of Christian faith and freedom, this is a sickening fact. But the news confirms it. In 1812, our capital, Washington, was sacked and burned by the British, but we fought and won that war. In 1968, Washington was again sacked and burned, this time by many people on government welfare, on government payrolls, but we will not even admit that we are in a real war, one aimed at our destruction. The United States is at war, in a life and death struggle, and in this war, the United States is its own worst enemy because it will neither face up to its evils nor recognize the cause of its problems. King Ahab brought all his problems upon himself, and no enemy did him as much harm as he did himself, but Ahab treated his one reprover as his enemy. When the prophet Elijah confronted Ahab with his sin, Ahab's response was, "Hast thou found me, O mine enemy?" 1 Kings 21:20. Elijah was the enemy for telling him of God's judgments. Our own course is often similar. The promise of God to us is clear-cut. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. 2 Chronicles 7:14. Our land needs God's healing. It is sick from all the remedies applied by a variety of quacks and do-gooders. Someone remarked recently that the miracle is that we are still here after so many years of evil. The reason is that our health and power ran deep and strong. We had good roots. In one city of 75,000 where I lived briefly, a long-time resident remarked, quote, 10 years ago nobody locked their house doors. Now my husband doesn't let me drive alone after dark. When shall we have such peace again? Certainly we shall not have it without a return to biblical faith and to godly law and order. We are hungry for peace, but we cannot have it without the faith which creates a godly society. Except the Lord build the house, they labour in vain that build it. Psalm 127:1.